When designing a marble gate, the goal is to drop the marbles as accurately as possible. This gate can drop marbles with extreme timing accuracy within 1 millisecond, which is absolutely great. But what about its positional accuracy? I would like to know how good the gate is at aiming the marbles at a specific point. So I designed these 8 targets with different sized openings to find out. So what do you think? Can the marble hit the smallest target? Let's start simple by trying the largest one first, 40 millimeters. I'm attaching a contact microphone to the target. The contact microphone doesn't record sound through the air. Instead, it records the physical vibrations of the object it is attached to. Then I'm adding a second contact microphone under the target and we're ready to begin testing. I record the audio from both contact microphones and I drop 30 marbles. Once all the marbles have been dropped, we can simply look at the audio recording to see how the gate performed. When there's a transient on the control audio, but no sound on the target audio, we know for sure that the marble passed through the target perfectly, without even touching the edge. 30 of 30 marbles passed through perfectly. Very nice, but that was easy. Let's make things a little bit harder by reducing the size of the target to 36 millimeters. Sweetness defined. Looks like 36mm was absolutely no problem. And checking the new audio, we can confirm that all 30 marbles cleared the target perfectly. The green disc here is a visualization of the hit point where the marbles makes contact with the landing surface. And when I change the target diameter from 40 to 36, we can see how the green disc hit point is getting smaller. It's only 16mm now, which means that the marble is already hitting a surface smaller than itself, which is pretty great. But this is still way too easy for my monster marble gate. Let's try an even smaller target, 32mm. I want to analyze the marble's position from this slow motion footage, but when looking at the marble from this top angle, it is really hard to know when exactly the marble is parallel with the target. But then I discovered that the marble is casting a shadow on the plywood edge, so now I can draw a line, and when the marble shadow hits this line, this is the moment the marble is passing through the target. So let's look closely at 5 different drops. Okay, here's the next 5. And here's 5 more drops. As you can see, the marble is dangerously close to hitting the edge here now. So let's check the audio and aha! We do have our first edge hit. 29 out of 30 marbles cleared the target. I want to improve this, so let's see if we can make some adjustments to the gate. And the first thing I want to try is to guide the marbles using a guiding rail like this. I'm thinking that maybe the guiding rail will steer the marble more precisely through the target, and it looks really fun. But when testing this, I could tell immediately that the accuracy was just awful. At least half of the marbles missed the target, so for now we can discard the guiding rail idea. No part is the best part anyway. But now I actually have no ideas on how to improve this gate. So instead of coming up with random solutions, let's try to understand the problem a little bit better. Why are the marbles falling differently each time? To learn more, I put the slow motion camera right beneath the marble gate to film the marble drop really closely. My clever plan was to use a bit of transparent plastic to protect my camera from the marbles hitting the lens. But of course I forgot to use that on the absolute first drop. So here I am dropping heavy steel marbles directly on top of my camera lens. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Anyway, now we have some footage that we can analyze. The marble is bouncing around sideways quite a lot here, and these random bounces are obviously bad for the precision, so I started to think about ways to reduce them. The gate is designed to drop the marble vertically, and the marble is being centered by these 4 rails, but it doesn't look like the marble is being guided well enough, since it is bouncing around so much. One solution would be to tighten the rails around the marble, hugging the marble more closely, but the marble is already hugged really tight, so if I make it even tighter, I'm afraid the marbles could get stuck. Then I got an interesting idea. What if we use gravity to lightly push the marble onto the 2 rails to the right? Perhaps by letting 2 rails actually guide the marble, rather having the marble just falling vertically next to the rails, could reduce the marble bouncing around sideways. And luckily, there's a very simple way to try this idea out. I just need to pivot the entire gate 10 degrees forward. This will cause the marble to run along the 2 front rails and hopefully drop with more precision. Let's see if this has helped. To the left here, we have the previous vertical gate position, and to the right, we have the gate tilted 10 degrees forward. To my biased eyes, it absolutely looks like the marble on the right is moving less sideways. So far, very promising. This looks great. The marbles are pretty much hitting the center, and the audio confirms that all 30 marbles cleared the 32mm opening. The 10-degree tilt of the gate seems to have improved the precision at least a little bit, but let's find out how much we have improved the gate by testing the next smaller target, 30mm. As always, I recorded 30 marble drops, and to my surprise, all 30 marbles passed perfectly through the 30mm target as well, and I'm starting to feel that the idea with a 10 degrees tilt has made a real improvement. The next smaller target is 26mm. The marbles themselves are 20mm in diameter, so this leaves only 3mm room on each side, so I really doubt the gate will be able to nail this test.
7, 8, that was hit.
And yes, as expected, we're running into issues here. 4 out of 30 marbles brushed the edge of the target. So once again, I'm thinking about how to potentially improve the precision. And since gravity is constant, the less interference we force upon the marble after release, the more precisely it should fall. So I wanted to try to lower the marble position before it gets released. I can adjust that by moving a stopping screw in this setup, and this will give the marble a shorter period of contact with the rails. Let's try 26mm again, but now with a lower marble position. Well, what do you know, sweetness defined. 30 of 30 marbles actually passed straight through the 26mm target. Well, nothing else left to do but trying an even smaller target, 24mm, and this time I seriously doubt we can clear all the marbles. Now the marbles have only 2mm free space around itself before it brushes the target.
25, come on! 26. 28. What the Yeah! Wow, that's pretty amazing. Check how little space there's for the marble. Wow.
Let's check the audio. And to my huge surprise, all 30 marbles have cleared this target as well. So now the marble hit point has been reduced to a tiny circle of only 4mm in diameter. This is way more precision than I will ever need. So very, very happy and relieved. I changed the target into 22mm. I mean, we have to try it out for science, right? But yeah, this time I actually think we're hitting a wall. More than half of the marbles are brushing the side of the target. So there we go. Could the marble hit the smallest target? Well, the answer is actually no, but I'm over the moon happy about the result anyway, because the marbles could pass perfectly through the third smallest target, which is an amazing result in itself and all the precision I need. Very, very happy about this. Okay, great, but why do I actually care about how this gate is dropping marbles in the first place? Well, a while ago I built 2 marble machines, they both kind of sucked, so now I'm trying to use what I've learned from my previous mistakes, and I'm thinking about maybe building a third machine. So the reason I'm not sure if I should build a third machine is that I have these 5 major design roadblocks, and what I'm doing currently in these videos is I'm trying to clear one roadblock after the other. In the last week's video, we cleared the timing roadblock. This marble gate can drop marbles with perfect timing. So that one is done. Check. Yes. And in this video, we have actually cleared the position roadblock as well. So that one is done as well. I'm going to work my way through this list. And while I'm done with this list, that's when I make the decision if I'm gonna build a Marble Machine 3. If you want to support my work, please check out the merchandise on wintergatan.net. I'm practically living in my Wintergatan hoodie, so please check out the designs at wintergatan.net. I'll leave a link in the description. But most importantly, good luck with everything you are doing. Thank you for watching and see you next week.